Good evening and welcome to the September 16th, 2025 regularly scheduled Nacogdoches City Council meeting. Mr. Williams, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes. May we all say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever
And ever.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, if you'll stand for the pledges, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, next item is open forum. We have Mr. Willie T. Whitaker here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Members of this council. Once again, good evening to everyone that's present, my neighbors and community. I'm Willie T. Whitaker III, a resident of Hillview Drive, 1414 Hillview Drive here in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's located I'm about the second block behind Fredonia Hill Baptist Church, if you're familiar with it. And I thank you for this allotted time to seek your help and assistance with the wild hog problem that's been plaguing our neighborhood perhaps since late July to this present day. Every house on the street has been plagued by hogs. Every lawn has damage by hogs. Now, two staff members from the animal shelter, hopefully they presented that evidence of videos. I've asked them to come out and just gather evidence because they told me they couldn't do anything about it. Well, I just asked them just to gather video evidence to show the damage that has been did to their neighborhood, and hopefully they pass those videos on. Now, Nacogdoches being the oldest town in Texas, I pray that we can set the standard higher and not follow suit like other cities in our state that have wasted and ignored pending problems and waited until they have caused major problems. For instance, our power grid and even the floods in Central Texas, everybody waited too long, and that cost lives. I don't want anybody to get hurt, and that's why I stand here. Halloween is approaching, time change is approaching, and kids will be at bus stops. Now, a school playground is just one block behind me. The kids at Fredonia Baptist Church, the school, and then we have Fredonia Preschool Elementary just right up the street on Hackberry. The hogs have also been seen on Hackberry Street. Now, it's only a matter of time before the unthinkable happens. I've walked out my front door, and to my left and to my right, there were hogs. My wife, she drives a school bus, and we have to leave early in the morning by 4 o'clock. And the only thing I knew to do was to bark like a dog to school. And it sounded like a herd of cattle running down the street. I mean, this is just how bad it is. And Friday, September 12th, about 6:30 a.m., walking out the door to carry my son to school. He ran back in the house and said, "Dad, they're there." I said, "What?" He said, "The hogs there." And they were running from my yard across the house, across the street. Now, these hogs are having babies, and they are multiplying fast. And I've seen them as early in the evening, between 6 and 7 p.m. I thought they might come out at midnight, but I saw them at 6 and 7, and I've seen them as late as 8 a.m. in the morning. Now, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Adams says he can help with this problem because the hogs will get more aggressive and continue to multiply. He says he's never heard of them being inside the city limits like this. But I have a number for him. But I just pray that our city can eradicate this problem or assist and guide us, guide the neighbors on Hillview Drive. I thank you for your time, council, and I thank each and every one of you. And I pray that like Nehemiah, you all be remembered for the good that you've done this day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Whitaker.
you,
Okay, next item is items to be removed from the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll move to the regular agenda. First item on the regular agenda, receive the annual report from the Boys and Girls Club of Deep East Texas. Ms. Sheila Youngblood.
Thank you for having me here today. I also have brought along with me Eric, who is our aquatics director, because I'm sure if there are any questions or concerns, he might be better answering them than I at this point, as I just started on July 1st. Eric? Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of history, which I think you guys know this, but I'm going to share with you anyway, is that the Boys and Girls Club here in Nacogdoches started in 1980 at the Mike Moses Junior High, until we had a capital campaign that ended up building our club that's on Park Street in 1996. The Boys and Girls Club of Deep East Texas, the city of Nacogdoches, NAC ISD, entered into an agreement and built the Aquatic Center in 1998. And that was after a capital campaign that then led to the Lehman Family Center, which opened in 2000. So we have multiple buildings that are on our campus for the Boys and Girls Club. Our Aquatic Center really serves a great number of people here in the community. We have members of the Boys and Girls Club in the summer in particular that really get to enjoy that space, which I think is pretty fantastic. We also have our NAC ISD swim team and water polo team. As a matter of fact, there's a water polo event going on right now at the pool. And so they utilize that space, both the high school and the middle school. The citizens of the city of Nacogdoches, we have 3 times a day for general swim time. And then we have 2 hours on Saturdays, but we are closed on Sundays when it comes to general swim. The pool is also available for rental, and so you'll see kind of what those statistics look like a little bit further down. We have lifeguard training that we offer there. We have general lifeguarding, CPR, and first aid training that we hold at the pool and within the facilities. We have swimming lessons, both for adults and youth. Recently, we've started some private swimming lessons, and so we're going to try that out and see how that works as well for the community. And then we have collaborations with local Boy Scout troops and other youth groups, and then of course water aerobics as well. So the Aquatic Center is very well used, as I'm sure you all are aware of. So pool usage data, we've got about 1,500 hours during the school year in the summer where it's available. We had, this past year, we've had 4,001 total patrons. Most of those were adults. Some of those were youth, so around 1,000, a little less than 1,905 were youth. And then we've had about 870 guests because of the birthday parties that we've held at the facility. In fall of 2021, Deep East Texas Boys and Girls Club organization applied for and received 21st Century Grant funding. And so with that, we grew to 6 additional sites. 3 of those sites are here in Nacogdoches, and they're 3 of the 5 elementary schools. And so we are in our 4th year of that grant right now, and it is renewable annually. We expect to apply for Cycle 13, which we think will come out this next year, and ideally applications will be due in January or February. Of course, you never know, But at this point in time, that's what we still expect to be happening. Because of those additional clubs, we've been able to serve another 405 children in those 6 locations. The program also offers after-school and during the summer months. And so we have the after-school program just like we do in our typical brick-and-mortar clubs. And then during the summer months, we have an all-day program that's available for these students through the 21st Century program as well. However, fall of 2025, with the influx of our new superintendent here in Nacogdoches and a desire to really grow academically for all of the elementary schools, we are working on a pilot program to include the additional 2 elementary schools that are not part of this program. We're going to do a pilot October through December to see if we can expand there and serve those students as well. Total membership for Boys and Girls Club in this area, we've got about 2,338 is our specific number right now, but of course it changes daily as we get new memberships every single day. During the school year, our club site at Park Street is about 325 students, and then the school sites have about 251 in them right now. Our summer members, interestingly enough, look pretty similar. So our club members in the summer are 358, that's what they were this past summer, and then for our school sites, they were 218 students. Our sports programs are bustling. Our football program, which we have changed to an all-flag football starting this year, and we're partnered with FCA. We have 281 registered members, which is pretty exciting. I think the games are going to start next weekend, so that should also be pretty exciting. Gymnastics, we've got 282. Swim team, we have 281. Apparently, we really like that number. Those are real numbers, you guys. Swim lessons, we serve about 342 students. Our membership demographics in terms of boys and girls, we have more girls right now, which is pretty exciting. We've got 53% girls and 47% boys. Ages 12 and under, we've got about 91%, and above 13, we've got 9%. So that's certainly an area of growth and something that we're working on. Our ethnicity, we've got a nice spread there. Obviously, 32% Caucasian, 39% African American. We've got 22% in our Hispanic population, and then 7% that consider themselves multiple races. Club hours, this is for our NAC Park Street Club, but also for our school locations during the school year is 3 to 7 p.m. And then in the summer months, it's 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But to be fully honest, our unit directors are there before 8 a.m. so that families can drop their students off early, and often they stay after so that parents can pick them up when they get off after 5 o'clock. Fees during the school year, this is only for a Nacogdoches club. The clubs that are part of our 21st Century program, those students do not pay fees at this point in time because that is all covered by the federal grant. But if a student is a member of our Nacogdoches Club on Park Street, then they are paying $100 per year during the school year, and then it's an additional $100 in the summer months for the summer program. However, Superior and I don't think it's AmeriGroup. I think it's somebody else. Eric, do you remember who the other one is? WellPoint, sorry. It's Superior and WellPoint both actually cover, and I believe now they cover the full registration fee. And so for a time, they only covered $75. I just heard last week that I think they're covering the full amount at this point. So our revenue streams, I think it's important to share that information out, to be a little transparent there. Our annual campaigns and fundraising for 2024 made up about 36% of our overall budget. Grants and foundations made up about 34%. Annual contracts and other items made up about 26%. And then our membership fees and dues are 4%. And so we want to keep that there. We think it's very important to keep that portion very low. That ends my report. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them, or if I don't know the answer, I am fully confident in Eric, and I'm certain he does.
Any questions for Ms. Youngblood? You do a great job, and this town needs the Boys and Girls Club, so it's a great partnership for this town.
I do want to ask, I know you've been here just a short time. What do you think, where would you like to go in the next coming years? You just want to kind of stay where you are? I mean, it's beautiful, all the things you do, or do you have other dreams or thoughts for the club? Or-
See, now this meeting is not long enough. Okay, no, I will say the short version to that is we have lots of opportunity that we have not realized yet. And the first place, so a little background on me, I am an engineer, worked for the USDA for about 10 years, and I come from higher ed. So I was in higher ed for 25 years before transitioning on July 1 here. I think our CTE program and working with our high school and our tech centers, SFA, and also Angelina College, and really building out what a workforce development in our younger students looks like. I think that's how we're gonna bring in our middle school and high school students and keep them engaged. Another thing that Boys and Girls Club of America has to offer is our leadership programs, and so we have Torch Club for our middle school students, and then Keystone, Keystone for our high school students. In the past, the way that we've done that is that's really been per club. So we've reimagined what that's gonna look like this year, and we're looking at having a Deep East Texas Torch Club and Keystone Club, so that some of our clubs in other counties, and even Nacogdoches, may only have 2 or 3 high school students, right? So this is an opportunity for all of those students to come together. Whether we like it or not, things are virtual, and AI is here, and it's not going anywhere. And so it's gonna give our students an opportunity to utilize some of those services, learn how to do that responsibly, and come together as an organization in those leadership programs. And then ideally, we wanna be able to send them to conferences. So Torch Club and Keystone, they have leadership conferences every year. We have a group of students from all 6 of our counties. I think we have 36 students that are going this weekend to, I say LA Tech, I think y'all call it Law Tech, I don't know, forgive me, but Louisiana Tech, anyway, for a leadership experience this weekend. So on Saturday, they'll spend 4 hours in leadership programming, and then they'll get to spend, as long as their unit directors want to keep them there at the football game. I'm not sure what time they'll get back that night, but anyway. And so doing more things of that nature to really bolster the opportunity for students to see themselves capable in environments that maybe they hadn't before. Just today, we had our first introduction with SFA School of Music, came in, and they're working with our 3rd and 4th grade students, and they will, every 3rd and 4th grade student in our park club will have a string instrument. Today they were trying out, so they were seeing which instrument works best for which child. So on, I think Wednesdays, a couple of student teachers will come in and work on string instruments with the girls, and then on Thursdays, they'll come for an hour during the STEAM hour and work with the boys. And at the end of the fall semester, they're gonna have a concert. I'm sure it'll be amazing, and you all need to come. And so we're gonna do more things like that, where we're really engaging our institution and also our high school and bringing in programs so that these students can have experiences that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Thank you, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Anything else?
Welcome to Nacogdoches.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
Okay, next item, receive the annual report from Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful, Miss Ashley Villarreal.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Good afternoon, or evening, I guess. I am Ashley Villarreal, the Executive Director of Keep Nacogdoches Beautiful. Can y'all hear me back there? I feel like it's not, okay. So our main kind of point areas for KNB are litter prevention, waste reduction, and beautification. And that's not only us taking care of those problems as a whole, but also trying to incorporate that with the community and kind of taking on individual responsibility in the citizens and businesses and so on and so forth. This is my list of board of directors. These guys are all volunteers. They're amazing people. I love getting to work with them throughout the year. This is just kind of the list of events that we had in our 2024-2025 year, and I'll go through each of them here. So first are our tech cycles. We hold these quarterly, and this is a partnership with STS Recycling out of Jacksonville. So we operate as just a third-party drop-off. We hold the items, and then STS comes and picks them up and actually does the recycling. So we offer this as a free event to the community. Like I said, we do this quarterly, so we just had one at the beginning of this month, and then we'll have our last one for the year at the end of October. And this is just to help prevent not only things going in the landfill, but also illegal dumping, because we tend to find things like computers in creeks sometimes, which is funny, but not funny. So we're trying to help prevent that problem. We also do our Adopt a Highways quarterly, and I just realized I put our next one is in October. Our next one is actually this Saturday, but then the next one will be October 25th. And this is actually a campaign through TxDOT that they hold, and anybody can adopt a highway. We just have our own adopted highway, and we usually get college students and high school students to come and help out with us. We have it's a 2 mile portion along the loop, and that's also on both sides of the highway, so 2 miles on each side, all the way to the tree line. It's really fun in September whenever it's hot. But yeah, we think this is a great way to give back to community, and I always like to share this information with people, because a lot of people don't know that anybody can just adopt a highway, so. We every year participate in SFA's MLK Day of Service and their big event. I put these together because they are both essentially the same concept. They just take place on 2 different time frames. It's where we provide service opportunities for the students, and then the SFA assigns the volunteers to us. Unfortunately, this past year, both of those events were canceled due to weather. Because I don't know if you remember, on MLK Day, it was very cold, very, very frigid cold. And then the next one was, our big event was held in April, and it was a torrential downpour on the day that they had it scheduled. So we ended up, we couldn't reschedule all of them, but we did do the tech cycles that we were originally supposed to hold on those days, just to kind of, do something. So a new event that we did this year was what we called We Heart the Earth, which was a Valentine's Day event. And this was kind of like an educational opportunity that we wanted to hold primarily to kids, but we had a lot of college students there, which I guess are also can be kids. But it was really fun. It's, if you can tell in the pictures, like some of those were like, all of our board members like collected leaves out of their yards, and so we could like you did the heart hole punch and stuff, and magazines, and people were just cleaning out their old craft boxes, just to get that, give the people the idea that you don't always have to buy new things. Like, you can make perfectly beautiful Valentines out of just recycled, repurposed material. So it was a lot of fun. We hope to be able to do that again this year. Every year in March, March is deemed as the Keep Texas Waterways Clean Month by Keep Texas Beautiful, and so we always try to hold a waterway cleanup in that month. This past year, we had a very large group. It was 45 people, and that was just straight volunteers outside of our board members. So I think we had roughly 5-ish board members, so about 50 people total. We split up into different sections of Bonita Creek, and pulled a lot of stuff out. It was interesting. As you can, that's my oldest son there holding a mailbox that he pulled out of the creek. But yeah, that is probably by far our funnest event, is getting down in the water and pulling things out. We got to hold our 5th annual tire recycle day. We collected over 500 tires, and that number is actually closer to the 600 range. I think it was like 580 number. This was a partnership with both the city and Cook Tire. We collect sponsorships where then we can in turn spend the money to actually recycle the tires. So it's a free event for the public. People can come and give us their tires to prevent them dumping off, because one of my son also pulled out a tire out of Bonita Creek during that, and he was not the only one that pulled one out. So this is in hopes to be able to prevent things like that. And then also, tires are just really hard to get rid of, and people accumulate land and things like that. Their parents are just collecting tires, so this gives people the opportunity to properly dispose of them where they don't have to pay a fortune to do so. Our also new event that we had this year was our citywide cleanup challenge, and thank you, Mr. Huckabee, for being there. You were the winning ward. We didn't weigh or anything, but we just went off of each ward had their own colored bags, and it was kind of like who was most visible. But it was fun. This was to encourage the community to come together and help with the litter problem that we have, and not only help, but it gives people. We feel like if you see the problem, you're more likely to try to fix the problem. So that was kind of what we were aiming for, is that not only were we picking up our city, that we were also getting people involved in picking up the trash. And then maybe later on, when they're going on walks or taking their kids to the park, that would encourage them to pick up the trash along the way. Texas Arbor Day, which is held the first Friday of November. This past year we did something different. Usually we actually coordinate with the city where we plant trees in public areas of our city. This year we did something different. This is of course a partnership with the Garden Capital of Texas, and we actually gave away trees this year. And we thought that this was kind of a need in our community for the people of our community because of the previous drought years that we've had. A lot of people lost trees on their own private properties, and of course their businesses and things like that. So we were actually able to give away 200 native trees, which was great, and we actually plan to do this again this year. So if you're looking for some trees, hold out till November 7th. We should have some for you. And we also were able to do our Christmas lights recycle. So we set up bins in the the foyer area of the rec and library, where people can just come and dispose of their burnout Christmas lights. And then we have it up the week after Thanksgiving, and then we have it out until the week of MLK Day, so that'll give plenty of time for people to dispose of them. And then I actually put them in with our, whenever we have our first TechCycle collection in January the following year, it'll be with that stuff, and SDS will come and pick it up and dispose of it the same way they do all of our other things. We also handle the Festival litter abatement for both the Blueberry Festival and then the Dia de los Muertos Festival. And I realized when I put this together that I did not take a single picture at Dia de los Muertos this past year, which it was our first year to do that particular festival, so it was all kind of trying to work out moving parts and everything. But you can see us there at the famous pancakes at the Blueberry Festival. We thank you so much for your continuing support for our organization, and I'm welcome to any questions.
Okay, any questions? You do a great job. We thank you very much. Another good partnership for the city of Nacogdoches. We thank you so much, okay?
Are we gonna have another citywide cleanup?
We think we're gonna revamp it and kind of do it, since it was the majority were college students that came. What we think we're gonna do is have it as like an SFA versus the city. But that'll have to take place in the spring. It'll take a little bit to kind of coordinate and everything. But that's kind of what right now that's the path that we're leaning towards.
Did you win, Chad?
So what?
Did you
We
win?
did.
Who did you beat, Chad?
Everybody else. Just retire the trophy, and then I'll try and get some of my colleagues to show up and help out.
Yeah, fall is just really busy for us. We have several, like this month alone, we had 2 events in the same month, and for our board is all volunteers, and the majority of them work full-time, and so it's hard to do multiple. So anyways, we decided the spring was kind of a better option anyways. But yeah, you'll see it everywhere. Once we decide which route we're gonna take, it'll definitely be posted, marketed very well like it was last time, so.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, next item is a public hearing. Hold a public hearing and receive citizen input on fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed tax rate. Mr. Semino.
Mayor and Council, Todd Semino, Interim Director of Finance. So state law requires a public hearing if the proposed tax rate exceeds the lower of the no new revenue rate or the voter approval rate. And it does, so we wanted to hold the public hearing in accordance with state law. I just have one slide to show you, we've been through this multiple times, but this is for the benefit of the public. So what this slide shows is the current tax rate that we have for tax year 2024 and the proposed tax rate that we have for tax year 2025, which is our fiscal year 2026. Also, you'll see the average homestead in tax year 2024, the average homestead value in tax year 2025, and then you'll see the levies for both of those years. And I will be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing.
Okay. We'll open the public hearing. Any questions or comments from the audience, please? If not, I will close the public hearing. Any questions or discussion from the council? I think we pretty much beat this horse to death. I know that there has to be 4 motions, right?
So first, we're going to approve the ordinance that adopts the budget.
Okay.
So, again, this will be by a record vote. We've had all of the workshops, we've had the hearing on the budget. Oh, I'm sorry.
Pardon me? Okay. Yes. Then we close the public hearing. Okay, no discussion. Okay, next item is 6D, consider approval of an ordinance approving and adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, providing that said expenditures for said fiscal year shall be made in accordance with said budget unless otherwise authorized by an ordinance adopted by City Council, providing for a repeal clause, providing for a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. So again, we've had all of our workshops and hearings. We've met all of the state statutes. We've met all of the requirements of the city charter. So tonight's finally the time to adopt the budget, and it'll be needed to be adopted by a record vote.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
I'll make a motion. Is that
Is it
right?
time to make a motion on that? There's no discussion.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we approve the ordinance approving and adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026, as outlined in item 6D. Is that sufficient, Jerry? Okay.
Second.
I have a motion second. All in favor? Aye. Oh,
Separately.
record vote, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll start with Kathleen.
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously by record vote. Okay, E? Okay, consider an ordinance, we'll go to 6E, consider an ordinance ratifying and setting tax rate on all taxable property for the tax year 2025 at a rate of 50.57596 per $100 valuation on all taxable property within the corporate city limits of the city of Nacogdoches as of January 1st, 2025. That said tax rate having a maintenance and operation component and a debt service component and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mayor. This one always gets a little complicated, so I handed to the full council basically how this needs to work for this agenda item. So basically, there's going to be 4 separate motions and 4 record votes. The first motion has to be read as stated in bold to meet state law. The next 3 motions, I've given you suggested wording for those 3 motions. And again, each one has to be a record vote, all 4 of them. Happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion? I move that did you have a quick?
He's coaching me.
Okay.
Brad was acting like he was about to make a motion.
I just looked down is all I did.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .7596 per hundred, which is effectively a 12.4% increase in the tax rate. And we'll have to have a record vote on that also. Okay.
Second.
Have a motion second. Kathleen?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously by record vote. Let me go number 2.
Yes, sir. The second motion will be how much you want to apportion for the maintenance, for the M and O rate.
Okay. I'll make a motion to apportion .49183 per hundred of the tax rate to the general fund for maintenance and operations.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll take a record vote. Ms. Bellinger?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously by record vote.
And the third motion will be the amount proportioned to the debt service fund for debt service payments.
I'd like to make a motion to apportion .08413 of the tax rate to the debt service fund for interest and sinking debt service payments.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll take a record vote.
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously by record vote.
And the last motion will be to ratify the budget for the increase of property tax revenue.
Okay. I'll make a motion that since this budget will raise more property tax revenue than last year's budget, I move to ratify that the property tax increase reflected in the budget.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Take a record
Aye.
vote.
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously by record vote.
Congratulations, you have a budget.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Todd, for all your work you've done on that. Okay.
Also for helping us through this wording to keep us legal. Appreciate it.
Okay, next item is 6F, consider approval of an ordinance of the City of Nacogdoches, Texas, amending Chapter 82, Solid Waste, and Appendix A, Master Fee Schedule of the Nacogdoches Court of Ordinances relative to sanitation collection and disposal fees, providing a severability clause, providing a continuation clause, providing a repeal clause, and providing an effective date. Mike?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mike New, Executive Director of Development and Infrastructure. Before I go through this presentation, I did want to mention this is an item that staff is recommending that we table, and I'll cover reasons why. Just a little bit of history on bringing this item before you today. In 2018, that was the last time that our solid waste utility rates were approved, and we've been continuing with those rates up until today. In January of 25, the CNAC committee, the capital improvements or the capital
Needs Advisory.
Needs Advisory Committee, thank you very much, preceded me briefly, but the Capital Needs Advisory Committee did recommend that utility rates increase based on discussions among the group, among the committee, and engagement with staff about the projects that are needed. We'll cover a little bit of that in a minute. And then in April 25, our rate study consultant recommended two things. One, that rate action be taken by FY26 to meet the needs of the utility, and then to continue review and adjustment of future rates as needed, not necessarily hold and wait as long as we've done up to this point, which now would be 7 years, but continually review and assess to determine that the appropriate rates are needed to meet the needs of the utility and continue to serve our customers. Coming to today, September 25, we are bringing these proposed rates before you. So what are we covering? These are snippets from the presentation that Council received back in April from NewGen Strategies, our consultant on solid waste utility rates. They had previously provided presentation, and Council has previously approved water and sewer rate changes. This approach is similar. The proposal and recommendation from NewGen was to increase the rates over a period of 4 different fiscal years. so as to kind of smooth out the rate increases, not apply a shock to any one sector of service. We are taking the same approach to others that aren't shown in this graphic, to include, if you'll see that note at the bottom, commercial carts and dumpsters would have the same percentage adjustments applied. And then another graphic showing a little bit different version. We have other services that are provided when vehicles bring in waste to the landfill. We measure that by cubic yard. Those could be dumpster cubic yard that are picked up and collected by our staff, by our services, or others that are brought into the landfill. We're measuring those at a different rate. We looked at some of the revenue generated from that. It does not nearly meet the expenditures of providing that to the landfill and the space that's needed and how we manage our landfill capacity. So you'll see a much sharper increase in FY26 proposed there. What does all of that cover? Again, this goes back to what was presented to council in April. Our assessment was that utility expenses should increase from 8.2 to 9 million per year by FY29. That gradual increase, we're trying to match the right rates so that we're charging the exact amounts that is needed to cover those expenditures. That includes additional equipment, rolling stock, other capital improvements. We have brought before council a couple of projects just in the last few months about expanding our permit, enlarging the landfill to a capacity that should cover us for the next 20 to 40 years. We're trying to get a little bit ahead of the ball on many things. You've seen that with many of our capital improvement program plans and requested projects and purchases for council. But the other thing that's important to note here is that the utility has to maintain a reserve fund, and our reserve fund of 25% for the sanitation enterprise fund kind of matches how we treat the other funds that the city manages. That's one thing we want to maintain. It is incorporated into the proposed rates. What does all that mean as far as new revenue? We anticipate that with rate changes altogether, they could generate an additional $300,000 in FY26. So here's a chart that kind of very plainly shows where we are today, where we see expenditures and revenue, where we want to get to by 29. Again, those things could fluctuate if there are needs that change between now and FY29, but we're trying to even those expenses and revenues out for the benefit of our customers. So why are we recommending to table this? There were some things that were not included in what was presented in the packet. I did share with you a little packet here with some highlighted numbers. Those highlights will show what we've prepared to present at the next council meeting. We wanted to be fair to the council, to the public. What we put in the packet didn't show all the changes that need to be proposed here. And we've included a couple of other things in discussion with staff. We've confirmed with our consultant that when we viewed disposal rates, I'll come back to this graphic here on your screen. They did apply to other categories. We didn't initially assume that. We did confirm that with our consultant that the 9%, 5, 3, and 3 did apply to some other categories that weren't initially included. We didn't want to miss that or force council to take multiple actions to make these changes. We wanted to err to the benefit of our customers too. If we move this to the next council meeting, this will fall into the subsequent billing cycle, November billing cycle for our customers, and will continue on. Good news is that once we do get council authorization for these new rates, they will apply for the next 4 fiscal years unless we bring back some other adjustments or changes. That's possible, but we are making a number of changes, so we wanted to be fair and bring you something that was very final for your decision tonight. So we do recommend that council table this item until the next regular meeting.
Do you need a motion on the tabling? Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table this item.
I'll
Answer any
second.
questions too.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Second.
Go ahead.
I mean, you can make the motion.
We've already
second and
done
then
it,
I'll- Okay. So I just wanted to ask, do we have a cash reserve are we still maintaining a cash reserve of 25%?
I believe.
In
we-
the enterprise
Yes,
fund?
we do have that. Todd's confirmed.
Okay.
That was part of the rate study also.
Okay, and had we been before or not?
We've been above it since I've been here.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. And I did want to say, I really appreciate bringing this and then voting next time. It's very thoughtful of y'all, so, sorry.
And again, we've been kind of grinding at various ordinance changes and
Right.
all kinds of things, and it is a lot of information, not only for the council to absorb, but when the public's looking at these packets, we want to make sure they're 100%. So that's our need, that's our request to table this item.
Okay, we have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, table that. Okay, discussion and possible action on changing the time of the city council meeting on October 7th. It's been brought to my attention that October 7th is National Night Out. And could we move the meeting to 4 o'clock? Would that be okay with everybody? That way we would be out of here and be out of everybody's way.
And just to clarify, Mr. Mayor, there's a resolution that the council adopted back in 2007, which set the meetings for the city council, the regular meetings for the city council at 5:30 p.m. on the first and the second, on the first and third Tuesday of each month, excuse me. But since the time was set by resolution, we would need approval of the council to change that time period for that meeting.
Do you want a motion?
Is everybody okay with it?
So
You good with it, Blaine? Okay, yes.
I move that we change the time of the October 7th meeting from 5:30 PM to 4 PM.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. That concludes this evening's regularly scheduled city council meeting. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, we will adjourn into executive session at 6:19 and be back shortly. Thank you very much. I'm back from executive session at 7:27. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, no action. That concludes this evening's meeting. Thank you very much for coming. God bless the great city of Nacogdoches, Texas.